Greetings, Lotus family. And hi, I am Fire Lotus. For the people that do not know, I've been doing these for about 4 years and I've been practicing for about 19 years now, actually. Wow. Anyways, on these, we just kind of a moment in time or 10, 20 minutes, possibly an hour of your day just to kind of chill out, relax, and just have cool conversations. We go over everything revolving around spirituality, witchcraft, and paranormal, and anything in between, except politics. We don't talk about that here. Um, and there's always no wrong or right answer. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments as well. So I wanted to start this off by saying hi, hello, holy shit, I'm almost at 400 followers on YouTube. Beep. But no, in all serious, I also wanted to talk about, before I get into the real conversation that I'm going to be having today, I am offering I'm offering a honey jar, manifestation jar, honey pot spell, um, for this month. I will be creating it on Imbolc, which is also February the 1st and the first new moon of the entire year. If you would like more information on that, just message me on my Instagram and or directly through my Facebook page. It's $5 per petition. Um, and yeah, if you message me if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll go into more detail. With that being said, I'm also offering two spells for the month of February. One of them are to find your next chapter, aka if you're looking to find your next romance. Hello. And then the second one that I'm offering is for couples or people that have been in relationships and you just need a little respark in that. So, and I'll be talking about that more and make more detailed videos as we get closer to the month of February. So, what we're going to talk about today is something that needs to be talked about more. And that is going to involve kind of Wicca, but not hitting on Wicca at all. It's just I'm using it to get my example across. With that being stated, I've been seeing an influx on videos and posts saying that like the whole karmatic thing, the whole Wiccan Reed thing. I just stitched a video that was basically stating, and they weren't wrong, but basically just saw a video where they're like, you do realize hexing is emotional manipulating, and it basically is also considered black magic. For one, we no longer really use that term black magic. Um, but I wanted to talk about this. So, especially on online communities, people use karma. Good afternoon. People use the term karma as in if I throw a hex to you, I'm going to have shitty luck for the next week, right? For one, we're talking about westernized karma because I believe that the actual real version of karma, just like the chakras, when it was brought over here, well, we westernized the fuck out of it. With that being stated, though, karma is the belief that the karma that you have in this life or you're working through in this life came from your past life. The karma that you build up in this life, you will deal with in your next life. That is how karma works. It's not what we're saying now, where, like, if I push someone down the stairs, I'm going to trip and fall down the stairs. We need to come up with a new term for that because it's not karma. That's not karma. Now, with that being stated, I do not actually believe in karma. For one, I have anxiety and that can send you spiraling. I believe in the ripple effect, or as somebody said in the comments, the butterfly effect, which is everything we do has an opposite and equal reaction to that. That's just straight up science. What I mean by this is halfway across the world, a monarch butterfly could flap its wings at the right moment and literally cause a hurricane to happen. Again, science, which science and witchcraft go hand in hand. We just kind of code words a little bit. Now, with that also being stated, what I believe is kind of like the same thing, but I like to call it the ripple effect because it doesn't matter how big or small, it's still going to cause ripples. What do I mean by that? You can get a tiny pebble the size of your pinky and then get one the size of your hand, and if you throw them in the same pond, no matter, or same puddle, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to cause the big, reaction as it hits, water spews up, and then they're eventually going to cause the ripple effects. Science and magic go hand in hand. Exactly. And a lot of people don't. I used to be that same person that was like, no, they don't. Science is completely different. No, it's the same thing. It's completely the same thing. Now, I do believe that practicing magic is an actual advance of what we understand science as. Um, but in general, we've got to come to this conclusion. And the reason that I'm so passionate about this, it's not only just the misinformation or the misrepresentation of something, but we have to realize that if we're online content creators or we are a witch in the public spotlight, we have people that may see our content 5 to 10 years from now, and due to all the misinformation and people not agreeing on things, there are so many practitioners that are young now that will be getting into this, and they're going to be so fucking confused. It's not even funny. Just like everything is energy, just a different vibration. Exactly. It's just like we talked about with fairies and or the fae, the little people. They're all on the same vibration. It's just higher or lower. Now, I'm also going to talk about that too, because there's a lot of negative connotations to what most people consider negative or lower vibrations. But we're all different and we're all individual. With that being stated, some of the videos that I've been seeing, it's almost what Christians do when they meet somebody who had, like, we're gonna situation really quick, as in somebody who literally just stepped off, I don't know, from somewhere in a place that has nothing to do with Christianity. They don't talk about it, they don't believe in it. And then they come over here and they meet a church, and after the church tries to basically convert them, when they don't convert, the church is like, oh, well, you're going to burn in hell because you don't know our Lord and Savior. It doesn't work that way. They don't know your Lord and Savior because it has nothing to do with them. What I mean by that is the way that people are saying this, it's kind of becoming off like the church. And it's so funny because the same people that are doing these are also the same people that are calling us out for having Christian values. Yes, I still have Christian values. So what? Does it harm you? Does it affect you? No. Why are you acting like that's a flex? And it bugs the hell out of me, because I'm like, look, we're not going to agree on this. There are some witches that do not hex, that do no type of baneful magic whatsoever. And then there's the exact opposite spell. And you know what? We're all living and thriving or surviving, one of those three. Um and it bugs me that people, cuz like I see witches or practitioners or open-minded people as very open. Yeah, witch talk is becoming like that. And oh, well, blah blah blah. Yep. And I'm like, we are supposed to be the thinkers that are not in the box. Like, we think the unthinkable and then redo that and just think more on it. And you're just putting yourselves in boxes. And it drives me crazy, even with the actual spells and stuff, tutorials that we're doing. It's people putting themselves in boxes. There are so many other things you could be doing. I don't like doing my magic or whatever on social media. Well, my personal magic, I've only shared a couple of tidbits, but I'm also in this place to where, like, I feel like I have to teach, and that's fine. It's just so many people that are making this educational content are putting themselves in boxes with spell jars and just the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, although I did see something really cool. Somebody just came out with quesomancy, which is basically using queso cheese as a divination tool. And I love that. That's advancing. That's mundane. Like last night, me and my partner were having a conversation, and I showed him the video of the black and white candle. And I told him I was like mundane before magic, when he goes, wait, I never understood what that meant. And he thought about it and he goes, wait, so that's what that means? I said, yeah, when something unexpected happens, don't automatically go to, oh my God, it's the gods. First, wait, is this mundane? And then go to magical. Because the candle that I lit, it's one of those like aesthetic show candles, as in it is supposed to bleed out and like lump up and cause these weird designs and drip everywhere. And I was using it as a spell candle. And normally in my magic, when a candle does that, take out the manufacturing errors, but it also could indicate blockages and stuff like that, which was the entire point of my spell, was to help me clear out those blockages. And I started seeing it bleed, and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Great, you're just telling me I have more blockages. And then after I made the video, I saved it in my drafts. And I was like, wait, I had one of those moments that just completely stopped me in my tracks. And I'm like, wait, you dumbass. that's an aesthetic candle. It's supposed to bleed. It's supposed to build up on the sides and do like that. And that was why I stitched it at the or I added at the very end behind that. Wow, I'm an idiot. That's how the candle works. Also blah, 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 a witchy tip to that. If you do not like your candles to drip, pop them in the freezer for about 30 minutes before you actually use them. And that I've never fully tested it, but it is supposed to help prevent them from actually dripping. And see, that's interesting. And this is where witchcraft gets complicated because not all practitioners will read the wax buildup. I do, depending on the spells that I'm doing. And then there are other spells I won't. But that's what people don't understand. It's like getting a bunch of art students in the same room and then you having 4 of those students step up and say, no, 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 you're doing this all wrong. This is how you do art. There is no right or wrong way to do art. With that being stated, yes, there are guidelines or techniques that need to be followed, but at the same time, it's all about creativity. And witchcraft is the same. Now, if you're on a specific path or a specific group and or coven, that's different. But if you're like me, that's kind of all over the place, yeah, I know what not to do, when to do it, when not to do it. It's like these books right here. A lot of people, like if I were to post this and the video go viral on TikTok or any other social media, especially the Facebook groups, oh, well, you're doing things that are, no, I'm not. I'm educating myself. Whether I practice them or not, I can own a book and be able to read it and educate myself. That doesn't make you, and that doesn't mean you are actually practicing that path or whatever. And the funny thing is, I've had experts, as in these people have been doing it half their entire lives, or if not their entire lives, come to me and they're like, half the shit that people are saying online is just not true. We're using terms that no longer have value up under them because we've always used them. We've used them too much and we've used them out of context. And that's saying a lot because I am no English major, but I also understand when a word is being used out of context. That and there will be multiple different interpretations of everything you do as far as spells. Yes, exactly. And see, now this is also cool, and it's one of those moments where like the universe kind of reality checks me. I used to be against dream interpretation when I understood how dreams work. And the reason that was because I was like, okay, my favorite color can be green, and your favorite color be orange, but due to the fact I was in an accident, this is not a real story, I'm just an example. Due to the fact that I was in an accident by a green or an orange car, the color orange now to me is, it gives me anxiety, it gives me anxiousness versus the color green. So with the dream interpretation, I was like, how did this work? TikTok helped me find that out because I got called out in the comments. They asked permission, but they interpreted that dream. But it's just like that. There are dreams, are signs and omens. No one witch or no two witches are going to be able to interpret them differently or the same because our brains work differently. And that's what people don't understand. And I'm just like, you're driving me crazy with this. Like, witchcraft did not used to be this fucking complicated. It can be complicated, but not as complicated as y'all are making it. Like, there was this huge kind of debate recently, a conversation on the books of 1,000 spell ingredients, the encyclopedias that they have. Somebody tried canceling the entire book because it has the Marie Laveau water in it. For one, it was a tribute to Marie Laveau. In other words, somebody created this formula and named it after her to keep her in memory. But also, everybody in the comments of that video were also saying what I was trying to say, which is that book is a book for everybody, which means no matter the practitioner, you're going to be able to find some type of helpful information in that book. And that was when it was in that moment that really cancel culture clicked of how bad it's bled off into witchcraft, the witchy community. And they should not be together at all. And same, I have the book and I look through it and I'm like, this is supposed to be like an encyclopedia for everybody. Same with the spirits and all this other stuff. And yes, I understand using slurs and using hateful information or hateful derogative terms. No, that is not okay at all. But at the same time with that, and I'm not defending it, but a lot of these books that people are going after, They were made before we had this huge awakening of, oh shit, yeah, no, we should not be saying or doing this right now. Oh, that must be our neighbor. Okay. Sorry, the entire house kind of started shaking a little bit. I was like, what the fuck? Um, and that's what drives me crazy about this. Like Christopher Pinzak, one of the best authors in my opinion, hands down. All of his books are amazing. He will not go anywhere near social media because he had his students try to call him out in his class of, I think it was cultural appropriating or using wrong terms and or just basically demolishing. I'm sorry, if I had a student and I was up there where Christopher Pinzak is, and they're going to come to me and I'm like, why are you even trying to argue with me? If you disagree with what I'm saying, get out. You're wasting my time. You're wasting my energy. And then this movement with, can you post a tutorial? I can, but that tutorial is only half of the work that you have to do. If you don't know how to work with energy or the essence of things, you're not doing magic. You're just lighting candles and burning oil. That's it. If you are not working individually with all the essence of all the ingredients you used, work them together to where they are dancing in this like this perfect harmony and then pushing that out, you're not doing magic. That is magic. And people are posting, see, I'm 33 and I've been practicing witchcraft and magic, spirituality and stuff since I was 10. I started using TikTok last May. I was blown away of how much witches, etc. are out there. Honestly, same. Well, I didn't use it starting in May. I think I've been on TikTok now, counting this year, 3 years. But like, if you were to scroll down to my like earliest videos, I actually full on tried to like go on like full teacher mode. And then I realized that over the time of watching these videos, I'm like, what the? Great. I love the fact that we can connect so many practitioners together. But it's this newer, I'm not even going to say generation, it's this newer aspect that because you're calling yourself a witch, you can do it your turn. No. Witchcraft, you are not going to get instant results. Sometimes you can, depending on what you're trying to manifest. But that's how the internet has disrupted that. Because a person would rather watch a 60-second to 30-minute video to do their research and get information versus actually doing like we had to do back then before we had the internet. Before we had the internet, if we could actually get books, we had to go to the library and pull out books upon books upon books and then cross-reference those and then write that down and all this other shit. Versus like, oh, well, let me Google this. Don't Google shit. No. When it comes to witchcraft and research, go to DuckDuckGo and or Bing. You'll get better results on what you're trying to research. Because with Google, you're going to get a bunch of blog posts and a bunch of World of Witchcraft and or the World of Magic the Gathering things. It's just, you're going to be wasting your time. Now, with that being stated, are there practitioners that actually do teach stuff in a 30-minute to 60-second video? Yes. But you got to look at that as a preview of an entire class or subject. Now, I love the practitioners who will, like me, some of my videos, I'll lead you a starting point. Like, I will hand you a starting point on where to start your research at. And one of the biggest questions that I get, and it's the hardest one to answer, is where do I start? I don't know. What are you interested in? Are you interested in crystals? Are you interested in herbs? Are you interested in Norse? It depends on what you're interested in. For one, you're going to need to know the basics. Grounding, centering, pushing out energy, connecting with energy. Okay, great. You got that. In the process of doing the energetic work, you need to start looking at correspondence. What basic colors mean. What the basic days of the week mean. What the basic days of the planets mean. Okay, so you're starting to get the basics. Once you get the basics of how kind of everything works, that's when you kind of just go out and spread your own wings. And a lot of people disagree with this, but I do still encourage somebody to at least a year and a day. The reason that I'm saying that is because if you try to fit everything there is to learn about witchcraft in 1 year, you're going to burn yourself out. If you want to do that, if you work like that, then actually sit down, make a list of all the subjects you find interested in, and then do that to a month. There are 12 months in the year. You'll be able to go over 12 different things, and a lot of those subjects are going to kind of cross-reference with the other subjects. You have an entire year of witchcraft planned right then and there. And see, this, I didn't have this. Like, with me, I think my first actual book wasn't even of, like, witchcraft. No, it was. It was the only Wiccan spell book you'll ever need. That is a lie. They came out with 3 more of them. But it was a great start. Because most beginner books, whether it's Wiccan or... Actually, I would actually encourage most beginners to actually start out in Wicca. And the reason that I say that is because Wicca is more structured. I will say that about Wicca. They are very, very structured. And I hope, because I've not really picked up a Wiccan book in a really long time, I hope they've stopped saying, you know, you either do it like it's in the book or it's not going to work. But I will state, for somebody who is just now starting their journey, you're going to need structure. Because if not, you're going to be going through what I'm going through, which is I'm in that weird, this new stage of mind where I'm trying to figure out my next step. So right now it's kind of like I'm following the holidays and I'm kind of just in the winter aspect that's slowly going to spring. And that's going to happen. You are eventually, and you will get to a point to where books just won't do it anymore. Um, I hate this house. Warm as shit outside now, but still cold as shit in the house. Then the wind blows and it all changes. Um, but also don't limit yourself. Please do not. And do not feel pressured to kind of get up to where another practitioner that you follow is at. We got here through, we all had to start at the same place. And if you meet a witch and they actually tell you what the fuck they're doing, they're probably lying, because there are adults who don't even know what the fuck we're doing. We're just kind of waking up and just going through life and learning as we go. And then I would suggest after a year to 2 years of actually like looking at, because you're also going to need to know the historical aspects of this. Witch history. There we go. And then you're going to need the herbs, because normally herbs go hand in hand. Oils, monthly like moon phases, how the sun can affect you. Once you got all of that, once you got the mere basics of that, that's when you get to kind of branch out and just start kind of read about Norse for about a month or two. Read about different types of Wicca, and then traditional witchcraft, folk witchcraft, Appalachian folk practices, Southern conjure. There are so many things, and you may fucking call yourself a Wiccan for 2 years, and then literally wake up one day and you're like, oh, you know, that really doesn't fit me anymore. I went through that. First, I was a Wiccan. Then I was pagan. Then I was a chaos witch. And then a spiritual witch, and now I'm a witch. And the reason that is because I do not consider myself pagan. At the end of the day, pagan is still technically a religion. It's an umbrella religion, but it's still a religion because you're believing in more than one god. It's polytheism. It's polytheist. I think I said that right. Versus what I do, which is, yes, I recognize that there are a lot of divine beings out there, but I primarily work with my ancestors and land spirits and just spirits. I do not worship, only because I do not like that term of worshiping the old gods. No, I'm not. I'm working with the old gods, but I personally do not worship them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you feel the term to worship them, by all means, become a devotee. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. There's a difference of working with a deity and being devoted to a deity. Okay? That right there, that's a rabbit hole you can fall down yourself on that one. And like, just don't have fear. Now, next thing I wanted to talk about, which is going to get complicated, which is we've got to stop this narrative that lower vibrations are a bad thing. They're not, depending on what contents or context that you're trying to say in. Perfect example, me and my partner, one thing that we will not talk about because we disagree on is working with demons. I hate that term so fucking much because of the reaction that most people get when you tell them you're working with demons. Oh, did you sign your soul over? Oh, did you do? No, that is a Christian and or Catholic aspect of what these beings are, versus research that I myself am still working up on and working to. And that's still a Christian concept in my brain, which is, okay, I've been told my entire life demons go around looking to jump in you and possess you. In reality, that's a bullshit face ass lie. With that being said, are there negative spirits and or beings out there that would fall under the category lies of demonic or evil or negative? Yes, oh my god, 1000%. But when for now on, when I say demonic or demon, I am specifically referring to Bible demons, what we know from them. And obviously, it's not what we were originally taught. Now, with that being said, if you still fear them, do not work with them. And the reason that is because yes, we have fear as a human instinct for survival, but at the same time, it can also hold us back. Too much protection can hold us back. And these are things that are not talked about. Everybody is constantly focused on your wards and protections. You know, personally with me, I've had 3 packages, still not been able to get here because for some reason, too much protection. I've had delivery drivers not be able to find this place when literally my address, you type it in and it pulls it up perfectly fine. Boom. Too much protection can be a bad thing. There was a video where somebody was like, and I talked about this the other day, teaching people about demons and stuff like that. What I mean by we need to stop with the terminology of saying, oh, low vibrations are bad. No, they're not. Negative vibrations are bad, yes. But low vibrations, no. There's a reason we have the Eightfold Path, which is basically 8 different ways to heighten or lower your consciousness, and or you're changing your perspective through scientifically through the lack of blood to your brain. That is what breathing exercises do. That's what meditation can do. That's what drumming can do. That's what trancing can do. On top of the physical aspect of the reason you're getting very, very calm and relaxed or very, very hyper, scientifically that's what's going on. Metaphysically or magically, what you're doing is you're either raising or lowering vibrations. I've done protection spells with lower vibrations. I've done hexes or baneful magic with higher vibrations, vice versa. It depends on what terminology, and that's another issue that we're having in the witchy community is all of these terms have been thrown around so much that the term themselves becomes an umbrella term. And then that's when you're just like, wait, what? Like I was interviewing Bloody Mary and I mentioned energy and she goes, what do you mean by energy? And that was when I was like, no, yeah, you got a point there, which is why I just started saying essence. Essence as in like the soul, the spirit, whatever. And these are things that aren't really talked about. Like yesterday, I did a quick working. And at first, like, I started second guessing myself. There's a reason I'm bringing this up. I started second guessing myself. Never do that. If you are in a ritual, and I got this from Pinzak, and it is the most powerful thing I've ever heard. If you are in the middle of a spell or full-on ritual, if you're saying an incantation and you fuck up, you mess up, you mispronounce something, do not start all over again. Okay? Just don't. Just continue, laugh about it, and go. The reason I'm saying this is because all it takes is for one single little shred of self-doubt to be planted in your magical garden in your head, and it's going to corrupt everything. You're going to second-guess yourself, you're going to second-guess everything, and you're fully not going to be there in that moment. There's a reason that people tell you, depending on the magic you're doing, you are supposed to be balanced. What they mean by that, they don't mean by Om Kumbaya. No, they don't mean your chakras all have to be balanced. What they mean is you need to be in a mental state to where your emotions are not all over the place, unless you are a practitioner who does that. With me, a newer way that I've incorporated technology into my practice is using modern day music. Music in general has been used all throughout the ages and all over the world in ritualistic and or religious things, right? We sing prayers and hymns, there's dancing, there's meditation, all of that, right? But incorporate modern day music into that. Make a playlist of songs that just give you energy and make you vibe and happy, and play them while you're doing magic. Find songs that match what you're trying to do. For an example, one of my favorite songs, 2 of my favorite songs is Phoenix. No, not Phoenix. It's Rise by Katy Perry. And then The Phoenix by oh my god, who sings that? No, song stuck in my head. I don't think it's called a phoenix. Yes, it is. Is it? Oh my God. Phoenix. I'm gonna rise you like a phoenix. Raise you like a phoenix. I'll figure that out in a minute. But using songs that incorporate what you're going through in life and then blaring them out in headphones while doing your magic is some of the coolest shit possible. Now, not everybody's going to do this, and that's perfectly okay. But I'm telling you now, and here's a tip. If you are one of those types of people that when you listen to certain songs, your entire body vibrates, like every hair on your body stands up, mark those songs, and the next time you do magic, whether it's just lighting a simple candle spell, listen to the music while you're doing it. It will bring so much to you. Not to mention, if you're having a low vibrational day, just playing music will get you out of that. It will raise the vibrations of your surroundings. Um, and I get to that a lot because I have seasonal depression, and my house in general is it's actually really really dark. Even if we had all the windows open, it's still very very dark. So I am around that. In Llewellyn's, there is a step out of the darkness spell. It's not really a depression spell, and I like to think of it as a placebo effect, but it works. And the reason it works, especially if you have ADHD, is because you're literally doing that. You walk in a room, there is like this, you light a candle and you say something, but literally you can just do this on your own and make it up. You walk into a room, right? It's got to be a sunny day though. And you need to close all the curtains. You need to get it as dark as possible. And then stand in front of the curtain and say, I'm stepping out of the dark and into the light. And rip those bitches open. And let just bathe in the sunlight. That in itself, the physical motion of you actually stepping out of the darkness and stepping into the light will help. Not to mention, we need sunlight to create vitamin D and vitamin B, which is basically in turn makes us happy. Um, and if you can't meditate, what most people say, do like I do. Sometimes I'll walk outside. I'll sit in a lotus position, but sometimes I'll walk outside, close my eyes, stick headphones in, and just play music. And for at least 10-30 minutes. And a lot of people's like, well, that's not meditation. It is. Meditation, all meditation is either A, mindful meditation, which is basically putting yourself in the now. Not in the past, not in the future, stressing about or anxious or worried about everything. Putting yourself right here, now, and center. And then the other meditations, depending on you're doing, it's about visualization or you're trying to connect with something. But remember, these things that people describe, meditations and techniques and exercises, it's just like somebody with ADHD in school. Not the entire class does not learn the exact same way. So you have to figure out what works for you and how different that is. And that's perfectly okay. We're all not going to have the same practice. There's a reason it is called witchcraft. Oh, sorry about that. But there's a reason it's called witchcraft. It's going to be different for everybody. And the reason I'm so passionate about that, it's like I've seen in groups before, a new witch will a seedling or sprout will take a picture of their altar setup and post it for the very first time. So excited. And then you have like 30 something people in the comments ripping them to shreds, telling them what they did wrong, what they should do next. And I'm like, no. You are making it about you. This is supposed to be about them and their new sacred space. Encourage them. Don't suggest shit. Even if they ask, straight up tell them, no, this is on you. If you want ideas of how to set up an altar, we have online for that. But there is no right or wrong way to set up an altar. Sorry if I keep looking over there, I'm getting distracted because we have a seagull out here. It's been out here for like 3 days, and it's so weird because normally seagulls kind of travel in a pack in a way. This one's not. This one's just a lone seagull. But we're all going to have different things. Not everybody believes in the Wiccan Rede. Not everybody believes in karma, especially the way that people are using karma now. At the end of the day, if you think you've done something wrong, you'll know it. If you think you've upset somebody, you'll know it. But at the same time, we also live in a world where it is survival. Like with me, yes, I do baneful magic. Do I do it all the time? No. Have I tried hexing somebody online? Fuck no. They're not worth my time. Now, when somebody comes and tries to fuck with my livelihood, whether that's me or my partner or anything else like that that affects this, that's a different story. Um, But like some people, they're throwing hexes like fucking throwing pop rocks. It doesn't make sense. And then to think about that, the people that are throwing the hexes are the people that are talking about the karma and the threefold law. What do you think your creator's going? What do you think your deities are deities that they work with? What the hell do you think someone like Thor or no Odin or Hecate or some other one is going to be like? So wait, let me get this straight. You hexed another witch because they commented something on your profile. They stitched your video and it pissed you off. That would be the exact expression you would see on their face. It doesn't make sense. I've never really had any scary moments with I've had a scary moment with the gods, and that was just because I set myself up with that one. But like anything, it's just so many things I'm trying to get out, and my brain is just not working with me. I know I wish this energy that is currently going on in the cosmos right now would just scoot the fuck away. The fucking moon in Cancer, fucking Pluto retrograde, fucking Mercury retrograde. It's all fucking with me. Which is, it's good. I mean, it's okay. We all go through this. But yeah, this one's gonna be short, very short today. Because I got a couple things to do after this. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank y'all for the people that did join me, and sorry I'm a little off today. But yeah, I will be tomorrow is what is today? Tomorrow's Wednesday. No, today's Wednesday. Yeah, okay. Tomorrow's Thursday, so I should be going live as always. Friday, I don't know. Fridays are always up in the air. Remember, if you haven't already and you're interested, the manifestation jar, the date for that to close it off is the 31st. And then I'll also be doing a self-love community candle. I'll probably start setting that up on February the 2nd, because I'm doing the major manifestation on the 1st. I'll do the self-love candle on the 2nd, and then the Valentine February special that I'll be doing. But yeah, and yes, I know I have not actually done the videos. I have filmed some of the videos, I just not have posted them yet. I'm trying to get more organized, and I'm trying to make sure I don't like fly through the video and I don't actually get the point across that I'm trying to make. But yeah, until then, I will see y'all later. And like I said, if y'all ever have any questions or anything like that, my inboxes are always open. And yeah, until then, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.